Hello. Okay, so we are here today looking at the code.org course A, and we're looking at lesson 12, events in PlayLab. We are going to take a look at this progression so that we can understand what's trying to be taught and kind of the intention behind this progression in and of itself. So you'll see that we're starting here with a video, which many of our lessons do. And this one's just to kind of get the kids hyped about creating a story or creating a game in PlayLab. I'm not going to play that for you right now. I'm just going to go ahead and skip to the first level. And you'll see that this one, it's just intended for the kids to mess around. They can literally do whatever they want. They just need to see what happens. By this point, they should be relatively used to clicking blocks in because they will have had to have done that for all the rest of the stages. They can click things around any way they want to. And then they're going to notice that there are these blocks here that they can't click to anything. And they might try and drag them out and just leave them there. And that's fine. Nothing is going to happen because as you'll notice, these blocks say when something happens. So these are actually kind of equivalent to this when run. The when run block means when you click this run button, run everything connected to it. These are sort of equivalent. This says when you click Jorge, or a dinosaur who's not showing up right now, but when you click Jorge, you can have something happen. So you can have it so that when you click Jorge, you hide Jorge. Now, if you don't have anything attached to it, it's just going to say when you click Jorge, nothing happens. Or when you click the up arrow, nothing happens. And that is perfectly fine. They don't need to fully grasp this yet because as they proceed through this level, they'll figure this stuff out. So they're going to click run. They're going to see that Jorge's mood was neutral and the background changed to, well, it was already a city, so that didn't change much. Let's change it to a rainbow and set Jorge's mood to angry. And now we'll see if we see anything change. There we go. That is one angry dog for having a big old rainbow behind him. There we are. So now we can click finish. Finish will move us through. Whenever you have a free play, it doesn't move you through automatically. You need to click finish to let it know that you're done playing around. It'll give you a link to share your story, and then you can move on to the next puzzle. In this puzzle, Jorge wants to say, hi there. Can you help him? Well, Jorge, we have a say block, and because we're in the K1 space here, we have white-listed sets of words, which means that the kids can choose from these words to make things happen. Now, Jorge here has said good afternoon instead of hi there, but it still passes Jorge through. The point of this is we're trying to get the kids to use the block, and having Jorge say hi there is the default. And so if they can just drag that default out and make it work, that is fantastic. But if they mess around and change the parameters to do even more than they were asked to do, that's even better. So we allow that. There might be instances where we would want them to say exactly what we told them to say, but this isn't one of those cases. So in this next puzzle, we're trying to help get Jorge moving by connecting the move block to the when left arrow pressed block that's already in the workspace. So you're going to see that this block that we messed around with a little bit earlier is now already in the workspace for students, as is the hi there block that we requested in the last puzzle. But now we need to figure out how to get Jorge moving when we click that arrow. And the instructions give you the exact block that you need in order to make that happen. So you need to click this block to the when left arrow block so that when you run and press the left arrow key, Jorge moves. Now you'll notice that if you're pressing the up arrow or the right arrow, it doesn't do anything yet because we haven't programmed that to happen. In puzzle 5, we need to program that right arrow block. And so we're going to drag out the when right arrow, and then we're going to move Jorge right. Now you'll notice that the pictures are not in the instructions this time. However, we do have hints here. If the students need help understanding what to do, they can click on the hints and it tells them what to do so that they aren't stuck and they can keep progressing through. Now we'll click run, and now Jorge can move both directions, and we'll get him to that right flag and we'll continue on. This time we need to add events to have Jorge move up and down when the up and down arrows are pressed. This is taking things just one step further. We've already done left as an individual. We did right as an individual. Now students need to understand that they need to do an up and a down. But there's only one block, the up block, in the toolbox. So they're going to have to take this and they're going to actually have to change their parameter. By now, they should already know how to change a parameter because of moving one direction or another, say with the Angry Birds. But if they don't, this is a great time to teach them that they can click on this and more stuff appears. So we're going to have move down, and then we need to also make this one so that it moves down when you click the down arrow. So now we need to be able to move left and down to get to this one, and we have to be able to move right and up to get to that one. We are almost there. Hang in with me. All right, so now we have this project that we've been slowly building throughout the last few levels. And this is make it more interesting by changing the background and playing a random sound when Jorge is clicked. So now we have to figure out which block makes it so that something happens when Jorge is clicked. And we should know by now that event blocks, the blocks that control when something happens, not only do they say when on them, but they are all this vibrant, beautiful green color. So we're looking at our vibrant, beautiful green blocks, and we see a when click Jorge. So we're going to bring that one out down here. And now we need to play a random sound when Jorge is clicked. So this is set background, and here's play sound, and we have random. Now, a little tip just between us, I don't believe that we can tell whether this is set to random or not. Oh, I take that back. We actually can tell. So I don't know if we have made it specifically only random or if you can play just another sound. And so I'm going to click on wood and see what happens. So it's going to take a little bit before time runs out, and it actually tells us if we got it right or not. Okay, it says not right. So when it said random, it meant random. This is one of those things, since we give you random, it should be consistent with earlier. If we say, make it say this, it should either say this or let you say anything. And then the same thing with the sound. If we say random, it should follow the same thing we said before. Either it has to be random or it can really be anything, but random is just what was there. But we'll go ahead and reset that, and we'll do this. Now you can hear there are lots of different sounds playing each time I click Jorge. And then we just kind of wait for time to run out. Oh, and it said something's not quite right yet. What did I not do? Make this more interesting by, changing the background and playing a random sound. That's my problem for not reading directions. So we're going to change this back to wood to see if it, if I have all of the other things taken into account, if we'll still pass with just a certain sound. So we'll run. Oh, okay. Well, that was interesting. So as soon as I met all the conditions, it passed. I didn't have to wait for time to run out. And you'll notice that, whoops, you'll notice that I was able to choose any sound. So that was consistent with how we treated this block in that first puzzle. Great. So something else I've noticed is that Jorge is really teeny here, and it might be nice to have Jorge be a little bit larger. Okay, so we played through that and got our green bubble. This last one is a free play. So you can take all of this code that you were already playing with, and you can add some things like the collide. You have a wait, so you can wait some seconds before something happens. You've got your mood, you've got your vanish, and then you have this repeat block, which students will have learned with other things. So when run, I'm going to, let's see, repeat 5 times. Repeat 5 times. Wait 1 second. And then when that's over, we're going to vanish the dinosaur. And our goal is going to be to get to the dinosaur so that when we collide, I score a point. So I need to see how many times I can score a point before the dinosaur vanishes. So let's see how this works here. There's 1, there's 2, 3, 4. Oh, and he's gone. All right. That was my game. And I hope that helped to get you to understand what the intention of this progression was. And I hope that helps you understand what the blocks are used for and how, even though the blocks don't have a notch on the top, they can all work together. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you like these videos. If you want to see more lessons played out with some voiceover, click the like button below and subscribe. And if we get enough of them, I'll just start going through lesson by lesson and playing through with overview so that you know what we intended when the lessons were created. Thanks so much. It has been a lot of fun, and I will see you next time. Happy coding.